lights don't bother me as much as.
Well, there's a whole different world in fluorescence than what we do. Our frequency range is from a low of 20 to 20,000. This is your standard auditory range. We chose this range because the frequency range that Rife originally used up in the millions, actually used from 80,000 up to 11,780,000 in that range, is allocated and controlled by the FCC. Also, to me, those ranges are just under the X-ray range, and they're also, if you have a problem in that range, the damage is already done before you realize it. So it's also a safety factor. We're getting a lot of the same results that Dr. Rife got in the 20s and 30s using the low range, what we call the subharmonics of Rife's original work. Like in music, you can harmonic up on a note or you can harmonic down. Well, we've harmonic down from all of Rife's original frequencies. Our other source of frequencies that we use is from a taxpayer program called the Genome Program. One of the best kept secrets in the Genome Program is that before they could learn to decode the human genome, is they had to decode lower life forms. Now, what were these lower life forms? They were viruses, bacteria, fungus, parasites, frogs, cattle, dogs, horses, all those creatures, porcupine, all that stuff. They had to understand the genetic code and how to decode from the lowest life form to the highest to get it right. And of course, over the years, the advent of supercomputers and things allowed them to do this. How do we know this? Well, there's a young lady by the name of Charlene Boyd happened to stumble across the government websites. What the government websites did before a private enterprise started putting a ton of money into it is that they used a pool of a whole lot of universities pooled together with the NIH grants and government grants to do this. And what they did is they posted this on the internet so that the universities could share information and do. It's one of the instances where a few of the universities actually shared information, probably because they were forced to. And one of the interesting things that if you take a look, we have adenovirus for bovine. Everybody know what a bovine is? Cow. Adenovirus for canine. Everybody knows what that is? It's a dog. And then we have a bunch of them for human and porcupine. So they did a lot of stuff. There's one here for Alzheimer's disease. Well, if you listen to the stuff they put out on Alzheimer's, they try to tell you it's genetic. Well, my opinion is not only can it be caused by a bug, but the majority of it, in my opinion, is caused by heavy metal buildup in the brain. From aluminum cans, aluminum cookware, mercury amalgam is the biggest thing, mercury nickel and mercury fillings in the mouth. Because what do? They drill a hole in your tooth, fill it with this stuff, mercury, which is one of the most toxic things you can have, and they set it on top of a major nerve way and blood system. And where is it? It's right by the brain. So when you chew, every time you chew, it gives off a vapor, which is inhaled into the lungs and spread throughout the body. And the heavy metals are deposited at the base of the brain or around the brain. And this is kind of short circuits our short-term memory. And then starts affecting our long-term, and then we can deteriorate on down as we go. One of the easiest ways to get rid of Alzheimer's disease is detox the body, either through IV chelation, oral chelation, keeping the body fluid, getting enough liquid in so that the body can make the blood it needs, keep everything circulating and regulating. Most people in America are underhydrated. How much liquid should we take in a day? The best rule of thumb that I've seen, and what most people recommend, is half your body weight in ounces So take your body weight, it's 160, divide it by 2, that's 80. We recommend a minimum of 60 to 80 ounces of fluid a day, no more than 4 ounces in a 30-minute period. The body can absorb and use a maximum of 4 ounces in 30 minutes, which is 8 ounces an hour, but not 8 ounces at a time. The U.S. government, or our RDA, is 64 ounces a day, 8-ounce glasses is average, is what they recommend. When you keep your body hydrated, as you do so, your thirst will go away. Now, after 30 days of keeping your body hydrated on a regular basis, if you start cutting back, you're going to get thirsty. Your body will signal to you. If you learn to listen to your body, it will tell you what you need. Look at the food we have to eat today. The food today does not have the nutritional content, minerals and trace minerals that we needed, or that we got, I should say, 20 to 40 years ago. From 1800s to about the 1960s or so, our food was able to provide us with the minerals, trace minerals, and vitamins that we needed. Today, the topsoil is depleted, it's fertilized and pesticided, and believe me, when they put that stuff on top of the ground, and the water washes it in, it goes into the plants, it's broken down, and it's fed to us. That's why we have all these chronic illnesses. So look at the food that you eat. Eat the best food you can, but my recommendation is get the best food supplements to take that you can. Liquids are always the best form. Powders and capsules next, or gel caps. Tablets, unless they're what they call explotabs. If you can take a tablet and drop it in a standard glass of water, and it dissolves within 5 minutes, that's what generally is an explotab. That means that it will dissolve in water. When you're fighting an illness, or as we get older, our digestive juices are not quite as strong, you want to have the best digestion you can. Intestinal flora, probiotics, digestive aids. Okay, as we get older, these are things that need to be, well, actually the probiotics are what need to be replaced into our digestive system and colon. They help it work and function properly. Soil-based organisms, generally we don't get into the food or anything else. These little critters break down the inorganic things that our body can't, so that we can digest and use. If you look at a human being, we are designed for fruits, grains, and vegetables. We are not designed meat eaters. Our intestinal tract is too long. Our digestive juices are not strong enough. Whereas you look at meat eaters in nature, cats, wolves, things like that, their digestive tract is a third of what ours is. The digestive enzymes are 40 times stronger, and they're designed to eat, digest, and use and expel in 8 hours, generally what they eat, and get it out. Where the average human, what we eat today can take as much as 7 days to be excreted out. That's a lot of fecal material to ride through and eventually get out. I do colon cleansers, oral. I use Sony's number 7, number 9 to get the crap out of the system, so that my little feli and things that digest can be clean and do the best job they can do. I take probiotics. I just got some what I consider to be good stuff from Tim. We're going to try those. I like to change mine up from time to time. His are in liquid form. The ones I've been taking were in capsule. So it doesn't hurt to change these things around. If you're battling a major illness, you definitely want to take a digestive aid or two with each meal to help break things down and get them into the system. That'd be the enzyme, yes ma'am. Digestive enzyme. Absolutely. If you're fighting cancer, and I'm going to talk about that for just a few minutes, and then we'll going to try to regulate this a little bit better. We'll have a little bit of break and we can answer all your questions, because I'm here all day today and until 3 o'clock tomorrow. And I'm here for y'all, or for you folks. You all is little redneck saying out of the South there, so you'll hear a few of those slang words from me, but I have a little bit better education than that, but hey, that's just me. I'm a personality and a person, I guess. Let's hope so. But in cancer, there are 4 major things that make a difference in beating this disease. The first thing that you have to understand is you are not a piece of yourself in this disease, or in any disease really, but especially cancer. We've had the war on cancer since 1964. We put, I'm told, billions of dollars into cancer research and don't have a cure for one cancer. And when my best friend was going through cancer treatment and everything else, I'm like, how can you spend billions of dollars on cancer research and not have a cure for one? Doctors can't answer that. Don't want to answer that. The money's in the treatment, not in the cure. In cancer, you need 4 things. You need good food, good nutrition, proper hydration and detox, and in my opinion, the beam ray. The beam ray will put energy into the body that you don't get from any other source. It will stimulate the body to repair and rebuild itself. We did a 2-year study at WSU, Washington State University in Pullman, Washington, with a graduate student there. And that's a neat story in itself. And the first thing, after about 2 months, the cancer doctor calls, and he's all excited. He says, do you know that this thing starts cleaning up and sterilizing the blood from the first day forward? Well, we knew that, but we didn't tell them that. If you tell researchers what you know, they're not going to look for that. They're going to go look for something else. But if you don't tell them anything, they may not only confirm what you know, but they may tell you some things that you don't know. Because I'm not a medical doctor. I don't want to be one. Not going to be one. I'm not going to be working with blinders on. Only what they teach you in school is what you can do. Standard of care is what that's called. Okay? We're also not, I don't want to be practicing medicine all my life. That's what an MD does. They get a license to practice medicine. Well, how long are they going to practice before they get good at it or find out what's going on? Okay? I don't want to practice either. Practice indicates that I might not know what I'm doing. Sometimes I don't, but I get lucky and get a good shot in the dark and it works and we jump on it. But some of the best discoveries in the world are made by mistakes. Our Bluetooth was a mistake. Didn't want it, wouldn't have it, can't give it to me. Boy, well, how stupid was I? That's the best thing we ever did. One of them, anyway. So, in cancer, the beam ray addresses the body as a whole, because what are you as a human being? You are a living, biological, interactive terrain. There's nothing in yourself that is independent and works without the rest of the body. The brain cannot work without blood and electricity. We have a picomagnetic field and a picoelectrical field in our bodies. Lungs cannot breathe without the blood circulating through, the diaphragm working, and being told by the brain, our computer, let's breathe. It's an involuntary action. It happens whether you consciously think of it or not. So these are just a few things that will show you that we are not a piece. We are a whole. When you have a disease such as cancer, whether it's in the lung, the kidney, renal cell, or anywhere else in the body, bone cancer, which is usually sarcomas, all of that works together because the long bones and our bones produce our blood, or our white blood cells, red blood cells, bone marrow. So why not treat for everything at one time? Why not go after the main disease and its supporting cast at the same time? You can't hit them all real hard because it'd make you too sick. It'd be too much of a detox or reaction. So we designed a protocol that encompassed, based on Rife and what medicine has learned over the last 50 years, to go after the cancer as the primary, and its supporting cast is its secondary, and treat the body as a whole. We address all the internal organs, the energy fields, and everything that can support a disease. With the beam ray, we can stimulate what's called the mitochondria, which are the repairers of the body. Stimulate the mitochondria to repair, rebuild, and maintain the body. We also have a slight little fountain of youth in there by being able to stimulate the mitochondria. One of the things that sets us apart from everything out there is not all the work and stuff that we've done, is because we're consistent. Just being around the beam ray is positive to you. Our negative side effects that we have to list with FDA are nauseousness, headache, diarrhea, rash, all of which are detox or Alzheimer reactions. Even though they're natural, we have to list them as side effects.
Could you repeat that one more time?
Which part?
Before.
The four
Side effects.
are side effects of diarrhea, nauseousness, headache, and rash. If you break out in a rash, that's generally because either you're not drinking enough fluid for the body to stay fluid to get the toxins out, or that there are so many toxins that they can't be gotten all out, and so the body pushes them through the skin. The skin is our largest detox organ that we have. Excuse me. When I talk to people about nutrition, I always hear everybody say, I'm taking vitamins. And then I'll ask them, well, what about your minerals and trace minerals? Well, I'm not taking those. Or they're taking a few. The body requires 77 minerals and trace minerals and 13 vitamins to complete a total of 90 substances that our body needs. Nowhere in nature, whether it's animal or human, does our body or in nature does any animal get 100% of everything it needs every day. You can mix and match and stuff like that. The body can produce vitamins from minerals, but it cannot produce a single mineral from vitamins. 13 vitamins, 77 minerals and trace minerals. Big difference. Most of the farms today are big agro farmers. Most of the mom and pops have been forced out of business. The agro farms don't, as a rule, do crop rotations and the good farming practices. It's how much can we grow, how quick can we get it out, we make genetically modified foods, all this stuff. Don't think that eating genetically modified foods is not going to affect you in the long term. They don't know what it's going to do. They're called frankenfoods. And they fight like heck to keep from having them labeled. Because most people with any common sense at all are not going to buy frankenfoods or radiated foods. I want good foods. You can radiate good fruit, berries, and things like that, and they'll sit on the shelf for 2 or 3 months. Put them outside in nature, the birds and bugs don't eat them. Now, if the birds and bugs and stuff in nature aren't going to eat it, why should we eat it? Those are just my opinions. You can do your own research. But you are what you digest, not necessarily what you eat. Because if you can eat it and not digest it and it goes out of the system, you don't reap the benefits or the dangers. So what I did over the years, and I did this over a number of years, in the environments that I work and live and sleep, my home and my office, I put in the best water filtration system I could. I had micron filters ahead of the whole house system that had UV in it to kill off any virus bacteria that come into the first filter. I have 2 filters behind that that filter anything that might have gotten through the first filter. and then it goes into the whole house filtration system, and then comes out. I cook with reverse osmosis. I have an RO system on my kitchen sink. But the most important thing that people overlook is the shower or the bath. Because if you use municipal water that's treated with fluoride, chlorine, and a number, ours in Birmingham is one of the best municipal systems there are, has over 200 chemicals used in the treatment of that water. A lot of that stuff is sent out to the homes, and if you drink it or you shower, their water has, a lot of chemicals have a lower boiling point than some others, and they're in that steam and you're breathing it in. So to eliminate that for me, that's why I put in a whole house water system, because I like to take a good hot shower, but I don't want to breathe in all these chemicals, because it will have a long-term effect. So that's what I did for my water. Everywhere I go, including home, I don't even drink tap water anywhere. Just bottled water, or water out of an RO spigot that I can see. When I eat in a restaurant, I don't drink their water. It's not that it's bad, it's just not as good as it could be, in my opinion.
Aren't we told that bottled water is often just tap water?
Well, it is, but
and that we have all these recycling.
No, ma'am. What you have to look at is what methods they use to purify that tap water. This one, which is Dasani, which is from Coca-Cola Company, they use, it's purified water, and they add some things to it. In their purification, they use ozone, and they tell you more. But this one is, let's see, through stable enhanced with minerals. Dasani water, if you get into that in Aquafina, most of them use bone charcoal. They'll use distillation. Most of them, there's only a few companies that you have to look on the bottle and pull out the distilled water ones, which I like. But most of them are reverse osmosis, and then purified from there. Reverse osmosis will remove 99.9% of your heavy metals and solids and chemicals. The one thing that I learned from going through my best friend's cancer is to be a label reader. I rescue dogs. I have 16, well I have 14 now, 14 dogs. Their dog food, I don't feed them anything with meat byproducts in it, because meat byproducts are diseased, dead, or dying animals, hooves, chicken feet, beaks, whatever's left over that's not for human consumption is put into dog food. So if you're feeding your dogs or your animals bad food to start with, then you wonder why their coat looks bad, their skin flakes, they itch, they have dermatitis, they have reactions and allergies and cancer and all this other stuff. Look at what you're feeding them. Get them off the crap. If you wouldn't eat it, don't feed it to your dog. And I alternate every day. I have 7 different kinds of food that are natural or don't have the meat byproducts in it. And they get a different can each day. And it took me about a month to change them from one kind to different. Because if you take them from one to another, they'll get diarrhea because their system is conditioned to it.
Well, then people will eat things they don't